Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. We are here in the midst of cleaning our work boots and getting ready to apply some Oben-Offs. Oben-Offs, why is that sound weird today? But this is somewhat of a ritual for me these days. Right around this time of year, right before the weather turns nasty, I usually like to get my boots out, clean them up real good, and apply a good layer of Oben-Offs. So that'll obviously keep your boots clean, but the Oben-Offs will help protect the leather and keep it supple for the upcoming wet season. That'll help waterproof the boots and keep them preserved. And then I usually repeat this right about springtime. Clean them up, put some Oben-Offs on it, and it has served me well over the years. I'm able to get a really long time out of some boots. Now, I am fortunate enough to have 3 pairs of these smoke jumpers by Whites, and I love these things. My original pair, I don't know, I couldn't even begin to tell you how old they are. They're old. I've had them since before my daughter was born, so she's 12. But anyways, I sent the original pair off a few years back. There's a video on my channel. I sent them off for a rebuild, and I haven't used them since. They're still brand new from the rebuild, because when I sent those off, I didn't want to be without them, so I found a pair of these on Amazon that were in the used like new section for half price. So I bought them, and they came to me. They were basically brand new. It looked like somebody bought them, tried them on, and sent them back. So that was pair number 2. And then somewhere along the way, once again, I found another deal on Amazon for basically half off. So I bought pair number 3. So I told you all that to tell you this. What I do is this pair and my other pair, I rotate. At work. So what I'll do is clean these up for winter, put Oben-Offs on them, take them to work. I'll bring my work pair home. I'll clean those up, put Oben-Offs on them for the winter, and I'll wear those around the house this winter. The pair I do have at work are about due for a resole. So while I have those rotated, I might go ahead and have those resoled. Anyways, that's a lot of blabbing about boots, but that's my system and it works well. I would say 85% of the time, if I have something on my feet, it's a pair of Whites. I'm almost always in a work boot. All right, so pretty simple, guys. All I did is knock all the heavy dirt off of these with a nice stiff brush. And then I'm just going to try. These are a little dirtier than I normally would. I don't know how they got so muddy. I must have forgot about them. Bad thing to do. You usually don't want to let mud sit on your boots. anyways, now that they're all, the heavy stuff is off, I'm just going to take these tub of towels and wipe them down, I think, the best I can, because I'm not opposed to using water to cleaning these up, but it's not that big of a deal, I don't think. But if I don't have to get the leather that wet, I'd rather not. These tub of towel wipes usually do a pretty good job of getting them pretty clean. They'll take off the grease and the dirt, and then it'll dry pretty quick, and you're not really soaking the leather, which it's not the end of the world. People, I think, freak out over that a little too much. As long as you condition the leather after hard soak in water, once they dry, you actually be okay. If you let them dry and then never reapply conditioner or wax or anything to them, that's when that's a problem. But we're cleaning these so that we can apply fresh wax or leather protective, whatever they want to call it. It's Obenauf's. It's like a wax. It's like a paste. That's it. That's all I gotta do. Wipe them down and let them dry, and then we'll put Obenauf's on them. But you can see those tub of towels, they work pretty good. There's a little bit of dirt in the cracks here and there, but we're not trying to get perfect here. We want clean and dry so that we can put Obenauf's on it and help preserve that leather, make them waterproof, and make the leather last longer and protect our feet. I do not require an insulated boot in the wintertime. My feet run hot. I am, on really cold days, I'll put a pair of thick wool socks on, and that's all the insulation I need. I cannot do a thin-insulated boot at all. Unless I'm going to be just sitting in one spot outside. That's the only way I can do a thin-insulated boot. But if my feet get wet, that changes everything. And obviously that's a no-brainer there. So, key for me is making sure that I go into winter with a nice layer of Obenauf's on all my boots, because it really will keep my feet warm and dry. All right, I'm gonna clean this other boot up, and then we'll let these probably dry overnight, and tomorrow we'll put the Obenauf's on it. So it'll be a few seconds for you, but overnight for me. Well, it's been a day or two, and we have moved operations indoors because we want our boots to be dry for this, or warm for this next part. As you can see, the boots are clean and dry. This is what they typically look like after a good cleaning. There's a little bit of dullness to the leather, but it's still in really good shape. And then this is after a coat of Obenauf's. And what I'll show you how I work this into the leather, and then once it's dry, I like to buff it with a soft shoe brush. Gives it a nice sheen, and you know, helps protect the leather. But that's pretty much, I don't know, there's not much to it than that. Clean them, keep them clean, keep them dry, you know, best you can. Don't be afraid to get them wet. Once you have them treated, you know, they're work boots. You know, don't baby them. I use Obenauf's heavy duty LP leather protectant, and it's just a paste, all natural ingredients. You know, there's no chemicals in it. You don't have to worry about it. You know, I don't have to wear gloves. I can just touch this stuff. It doesn't matter. You could probably eat it. I wouldn't, but you probably could. But all I do is work it into the leather. You just stick it on my fingers here and rub it into leather. Pretty simple stuff. I mean, don't overcomplicate this stuff. Also, too, make sure you get your sole here. This is leather too. Stacked leather heel. That's all leather. The leather, little Obenauf's will soak right into that. And then down in, it's a stitch down construction, so I'll get this Obenauf's down on the stitches. That helps keep the stitches from cracking, keeps them supple. So I just looked this up. I bought 2 pairs of these boots in December of 2019, approximately 2 weeks apart from each other. Like I mentioned earlier, it was a deal where on Amazon where they had pairs that were more than half off is what it came down to. And I took advantage of that and bought 2 pairs. Now, I've only worn those 2 pairs since 2019, and it's 2025, almost December. So that is that is 6 years. Yeah, that's 6 years for both of these boots. Well, for 2 pairs of these boots. The other pair is currently at work. This pair's here, obviously, I'm working on it. And so I'm going to show you the sole. The sole on this one's still decent, but it's not far from needing replaced. The soles on the ones at work, I'm probably going to send them in for a resole. Do you have any pair of boots that you've actually worn that are 6 years old? Now, I rotated these 2 pairs of boots. I have no idea like what the balance was, but I've rotated them. So in other words, like I'm getting ready to take these to work. I'll bring the other ones home. I'll probably wear these and send the other ones in for a resole. I don't know. But so let's say let's say that I've worn each pair for 3 years, solid. Do you have any boots that cost any amount of money in your collection that aren't like custom boots or whites or whatever? Do you have any boots that have lasted that long? Like, you're not gonna get, what I'm getting at is, you can go buy a pair of Red Wings, you can go buy Danners, you can, whatever your off the shelf name brand stuff is, your $100, $200 pair of boots, they are not going to last nowhere near as long as a pair of whites. It's just not going to happen. Like, you can't convince me otherwise, and I'm not trying to convince you otherwise. I'm just telling you from my experience. Buy yourself some boots, some whites. If you can afford to buy 2 pairs, that's the ultimate. 2 pairs of white boots will last me for the rest of my life. Like with you know, a resole here and there. Like we're talking 3 years, and 1 pair needs a resole. You know, you talk, get a resole maybe 6 years before you need a rebuild. It's a lifetime investment. You just, if you did the math on it, over time, the longer you have them, the better the deal is. The cost of ownership goes down. So, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Either way, that's pretty much it. Good coat of Obernoffs. I'll probably do 1 more coat once this kind of dries off. I'll keep working it in with my fingers here. I'll probably do 1 more coat, and then the only other thing I like to do is grab my shoestrings here. I use Obernoff shoestrings, or boot strings, or whatever you want to call them. These are the best boot shoestrings I've ever used, the Obernoffs, and I give them a coat of Obernoffs as well. They come impregnated with it, but it wears off over time. So just a nice, generous coat. Oh, you guys can't see that. I'm sitting here working it in there, and you guys can't see none of it. Anyways, I'm just working it in with my fingers. It'll soak in there a little bit. Best shoestrings I've ever used, hands down. Guys, take care of your feet. They're important. If you're like me and you work a blue collar job where you're on your feet all day, it's probably one of the most important things you can do is spend money on boots. And take care of those boots, and they will serve you well for many a moon. That's pretty much it. I'll let this dry a little bit, then I'll take the excess off with a clean rag. I'll buff these boots up once everything's dry, and that's a wrap. That's it. These boots are ready for a hard winter use, and many more years of service. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next video.